Now this is how you do a good retool. Welcome back to the show, it's Gay for Me, and today we're looking at the brand new Predacon Terrorsaur. Terrorsaur is part of the new online exclusive Golden Disc collection. What? Oh, excuse me. Golden Disc collection. A brand new line of figures set in an alternate universe where factions collide in a multi-dimensional battle for the titular Golden Discs. Terrorsaur himself hails from an alternate universe where he managed to survive the Beast Wars and is attracted to women. As a lifelong fan of Beast Wars, I'm so glad to finally have the opportunity to collect the original cast, updated with modernized engineering and featuring screen-accurate designs. Well, mostly screen-accurate. Generally, I don't mind the direction to produce more realistic beast modes for the cast, especially for characters such as Tigatron, for instance, whose tiger mode always looked like it was modeled after a crayon drawing done by a 4-year-old. But this design philosophy is sort of applied inconsistently. Dinobot, for example, on top of looking as if he's experiencing the long-lasting effects of trench warfare, isn't a scientifically valid depiction of a velociraptor at all. And he doesn't really resemble the TV model either. And come on people, it's fucking 2002, okay? There's no excuse for a dinosaur to have pronated hands nowadays. Even Jurassic Park has gotten this right by now. Life, finds a way. Terrorsaur's beast mode is a reasonably accurate recreation of the cartoon model, well, at least the top slice of him. He's just a red pteranodon, so there's not much to get wrong. For Terrorsaur, getting the head sculpt right is a big factor in making it work. It's real freaky looking, it's articulated well, and they actually painted each of his little teeth in. Although it's not one-to-one to the TV model, it captures the same grotesque and unsettling appearance. They put it up right in the middle of his goddamn forehead. Fuck me. He kind of has that excessive undercarriage problem that a lot of Jet characters used to have on account of the visible little red man clearly balled up underneath him. There's practically no attempt to make him not look like a dude hunched over wearing a pteranodon costume. You know, since Airazor doesn't have paint on her legs, it's easier for my eye to tell where the shapes of the bird mode are intended to be. So I kind of ignore her bright orange butt hanging out the back. However, Terrorsaur has his fat little ass out and proud like he's dancing all by himself at the club at 3 in the morning. They seem to have improved the wings a bit since Airazor. The possibility of breaking the wings on this figure was my biggest worry going in, and I almost didn't want to open them because of it. The wings of my Airazor broke and are really loose now, so I had to buy another one to make myself feel better. But these are really nice. They got cool veiny sculpting on them, and the parts fit together well, so the movement is smooth. I shouldn't have anything to worry about. Y'all motherfuckers see my old review of Fossilizer Wing Figure, so you know I absolutely hate that dude, and I think it's easily the worst Kingdom figure of the entire line. Let's check out a clip from that video. But there's one thing that Wing Figure does better than Terrorsaur, and that's wing walking. Pteranodons, while being well known as graceful flyers, terrestrially walked on all fours using the vestigial hands located on their wings. This is something that Wing Figure can pull off to a convincing level, but not Terrorsaur. So I hate to say it, but Wing Figure has a more versatile and possibly more accurate Pteranodon mode than Terrorsaur just for this fact. It's a sad day when I have to give a compliment to such a shitty figure, but he literally sucks at everything else, so he can go fuck himself. Terrorsaur's transformation isn't anything special, since in classic Beast former fashion, all you really do is straighten out his limbs and take out his head. But I've been thinking about it, and aside from his feet, none of his Beast parts form into his robot parts. In practical terms, I would argue that he is a shell former. He just doesn't have an outer shell encasing him. Oh no, that means he's a bad design. We gotta completely overhaul Terrorsaur to have visible kibble so he can look like a real transformer. See, you guys don't make this argument for literally anybody else. I'm onto you. In robot mode, Terrorsaur continues to faithfully translate the TV model to plastic. Most of the major details are here, and there's a lot of cool sculpted elements. I love the pebbled skin on his chest because it's a unique looking texture and it enhances the toy's tactile experience. But there's also his little toes and the panel detailing on his hips, as well as his codpiece. Oh lord, that's not right at all. The head sculpt is superb, depicting every important detail, from the crest running down the center and back of his head, to his sharp eyes and sinister smile. Terrorsaur is a bad banana, and he knows it. The only minor complaint I have is that the eyes should have been red instead of yellow. Terrorsaur has a large winged backpack, though his wings aren't inverted like the original toy. It's kind of funny looking back to when Airazor came out, because some people were speculating why she had these weird holes in her back, and if that was like a hint at a Magnaboss remake. Well, Terrorsaur has those holes too, and they're just for tabbing the wings into when they're folded up. The wings fold up about as compactly as you could hope, but his wingtips can still splay out, giving him a kind of prehistoric seeker vibe. Speaking of Airazor, in robot mode it's a lot more obvious that the two of them are Mold siblings. Most of their shared parts are visible, including the lower arms and legs, but nearly everything else is brand new stuff. It's an incredibly well designed remold, I'd say, because although all of their parts function the exact same way, and you can tell they're cut from the same cloth, literally and figuratively, their silhouettes express just how different they really are. Airazor looks slimmer and lanky, while Terrorsaur is slightly broader and heavier built. Again, functionally the same figure, but they don't feel like they're the same figure. And that's why I think it's so successful. Terrorsaur looks great overall, though while he is relatively faithful to the on-screen model, the biggest thing holding him back from looking totally screen accurate is the changes to his color scheme. Make no mistake, he's got a decent amount of paint on him, but the balance between Terrorsaur's colors is supposed to be closer to 50-50. Maybe slightly in favor of the silver actually, but here they've pushed it more to the red direction. Now that's probably just because the plastic is red, but they could have given this figure a much more premium feel if they had painted his shoulders and thighs properly. Luckily, I also haven't noticed any paint blemishes on mine. In terms of the build quality, he's a little bit yappy, but most of them remain out of sight, so I don't think it's a big issue. His articulation is pretty good, and all of his joints are pinned aside from his feet. So he's sturdy, but he can be a little finicky when trying to stand him up straight. And he doesn't have wrists either.
Oh my god, a figure that doesn't have wrists, what a garbage toy!
Terrorsaur includes what I will describe as a small gray Nerf gun. The fact that it has a red tip and is incompatible with effect parts is why I call it that. But it can plug onto his hip for convenient storage. He also includes the titular golden disc, though technically it's the wrong disc. This one, being the Vok disc, does not foretell the future. In the series, the contents of this disc outline the mysterious aliens' experiments on Earth, as well as containing a copy of Airazor's sex tape. I think Terrorsaur is a great figure, and he's easily become my favorite of the new Predacons. It's a crime that he's not a mainline release. He manages to step out of the shadow of his mold mate and deliver something unique, but doing so subtly enough as to not forego his roots entirely. So between Terrorsaur and other characters like Tigatron having these slightly adjusted color schemes, I hope sometime in the future we can get some Beast characters in premium, show-accurate decos. And since we've been getting a lot of deep cut references lately, I hope maybe we'll get to see Terrorsaur in toy colors too, because I'd love to see this mold revisited. Poppy says if you like Beast Wars, you should check out the PulseCon Ravage review next, because that's her favorite. It's not because she's a cat though. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye bye.